Everybody, I apologize if any of this nonsense behind us is getting picked up on this audio right now.
It's loud.
It's all of a
It's
sudden
a brewery.
very loud in the brewery.
We're making beer for you.
Yeah, you.
I just saw them come out and go, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys got to make beer.
Yeah.
We're intruding on you.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fretboard TV. Today we are joined by Cookie Hildreth here. He is sales in Dayton, Ohio for us. Recently joined the team. Cookie, say what's up, man.
Hi, my name is Cookie. I'm with I'm just reading cue cards. I'm just kidding. What's up, guys? I'm Cookie. Yeah.
So let's jump right into it. Where did Cookie come from? Where did that nickname come from? 'Cause that's not your birth name. Or is it your birth name?
The ever elusive, how did you get the name Cookie? So I actually got the name in middle school, playing football, essentially. My coach gave it to me. It's a really long-born story, essentially. Long story long. Going through the same play over and over in practice, messed it up once or twice. After we kept running just that one play, coach pulled me aside, and he said,
"Why'd you mess up that play, you cookie monster-looking motherfucker?"
And I was like,
I don't know what that means, Coach, because I'm not blue and I don't eat cookies, so cool.
So coach teammates just kept calling me Cookie Monster, and then one day, out of nowhere, one of my teammates shortened it down to Cookie, and it just kind of stuck. My dad sometimes calls me Cookie. My mom refuses to call me Cookie. My brother refuses to call me Cookie, but I've just owned it. So I even got it tattooed on the inside of my lip.
Do you really?
Yeah. So it says Cookie on the inside of my lip. It's kind of faded now. I got it years ago, so you can really only see the O.
Too many Chips Ahoy just scraping away at the inside.
So now it's just the O there. I'm going to get it touched up eventually, but
Fantastic. So we made a small introduction to you on our Instagram page and Facebook. You described yourself as a big kid.
Yep.
So what are some of your hobbies and interests that keep you young?
Yeah, I am a size 6'14", big kid. I am 6'14". I've been a big kid my entire life, so I love cartoons. But I'm talking about like old school cartoons. I'm like Saturday morning cartoons,
How old are
Nickelodeon
you? You should
cartoons.
give us some reference here.
I am a ripe age of 22 years old. Yeah, no, I was born in 1983. You guys do the math. I still watch. I'm a huge fan of Power Rangers. Yes, Power Rangers. I love, like, my favorite cartoon of all time is Doug.
Oh, nice.
I love that show. It was probably one of the worst cartoons ever on Nickelodeon, but it is my absolute favorite.
It was definitely a lazy cartoon.
It was.
The guy just got to wear the same clothes every day. All characters got to wear the same clothes.
It was the best.
But so did Hey Arnold.
But I think that was way ahead. Oh yeah, football head. That guy sucked. But it had more of a meaningful story for Hey Arnold. But I liked Doug because it was just a kid with anxiety that just wrote in a journal. Yeah. So it's basically like me when I was in my 20s. You know, going through my phase of having like emo bangs and wearing band T-shirts all the time. We'll get to that story later.
So, what did you want to be growing up?
Oh,
as an emo kid.
Well, so I didn't come out of the womb. I didn't like transport out of my mother as an emo kid. I came out at 6'10" right off the bat. Yep. And then grew 4 inches my last like 36 years. Yeah. But I grew up always wanting to be a professional basketball player. So I'm originally from San Antonio, Texas. So home of the greatest basketball team of all time. You can fight me on that. The Spurs are the best. I don't care. So grew up as a huge diehard Spurs fan. And always just wanted to play for the San Antonio Spurs. Watching the NBA draft 2 years ago and realizing that they still haven't called my name, I was probably never going to be a professional basketball player. My dream now is to be a professional wrestler.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
cool.
Yeah. I'm about 12 years past the prime.
Yeah.
But I think I could probably still get on there.
All right. So I want to know who you modeled your game after basketball-wise, and then when you decided, I'm not going to get drafted, now I got to be a wrestler, what wrestler would you want to be like?
My game was modeled after Sean Elliott.
Okay.
Favorite basketball player of all time.
That's awesome.
I shoot like him, so he shoots bow-legged. and his knees always bended. It was an awful shot. My coach always yelled at me.
Yeah.
I mean, I had an ugly jumper, but I mean, it worked.
It was cash.
It worked. I mean, it probably didn't work that well because I'm still sitting here undrafted. And then as far as a wrestler, I mean, my number one favorite wrestler of all time is Bret the Hitman Hart. There's been numerous times where I put my cousins in the sharpshooter.
Yeah.
My younger brother,
Ruined
my
his
stuffed
life.
animals.
Yep.
I mean, my girlfriend now, sorry, babe, but yeah, I mean, I've put her in the sharpshooter a couple times.
For sure.
So,
You got to do it.
You got to keep the love life fresh.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and keep people honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, let them know where they came from.
Right.
Yep.
So, after reality really hit you, how did you end up in beer sales?
Yeah. So I ran and worked in some sort of capacity in bars and restaurants for about 10 years. Really got into the beer industry and really loved craft beer in general. And it was just a big part of my life. That when I left the bar industry, it got to the point where I was just not happy bartending any longer. I left and found my first job in the beer industry with Lagunitas Brewing Company. One of my really good friends, it was just connections that I established from running bars and restaurants and meeting people. So that was my first introduction into the beer industry, was working for Lagunitas. And it wasn't like the fairy tale beginning. Started with Lagunitas, but as I got hired that same day, I basically went into limbo because they put a hiring freeze on the whole company. So just as I was about to put my name on the dotted line, it was like, hold on, we can't hire anybody right now. So I just kind of sat and waited. I was like, well, I have the job. I just need to wait to make it official. So I worked with Lagunitas doing promotional work and basically was paid in T-shirts and hats and beer and gift cards to basically promote and work for Lagunitas because I wanted to be in this business so bad that I was essentially working for free. Did that for almost 6 months, almost a year. And then my friend who was my boss at Lagunitas told me that Founders was looking for somebody, passed on my information, and then Founders came calling, and then left and went to Founders and worked for Founders for about 5 years. Founders had always been one of my favorite brewing companies in the entire world. I thought they did some crazy, innovative, just new things that was just awesome. And, worked with them for 5 years, left them after a while, and then went to the Brew Kettle, which is a regional brewery that's up in Cleveland. So worked in the state of Ohio, sold for the Brew Kettle, and left, and now I'm here with Fretboard. So yeah, and opening up Dayton. Going from larger breweries to smaller breweries. It's nice to be on that level of where there's a lot of ownership being taken.
Right.
Everyone's kind of wearing a different hat and making sure we're a team.
Yep.
Once you get into bigger, larger size breweries, things start to kind of taper off a little bit.
Right.
And
It's hard to grow.
absolutely. So with this, it's nice. Fretboard. I mean, we make incredible liquid, and we're moving in that direction of just growing, which is awesome. So it's cool being on this ground level, being a part of this growing huge bubble that I can be a part of. So
For sure.
it's awesome. Yeah.
So
it's fun.
what's your favorite part of slinging beer for a living?
I'm a big people person. Okay. I love talking to people. Beer is one of those things that brings people together. So being able to go out there and sell a product, and it's not even really selling. It's just, getting people to just drink this amazing liquid and hang out with Fretboard, essentially. So, and that's probably my favorite part, is just knowing when somebody picks up one of our beers and it's just like, hey, I just had one of this. Like, it was awesome. Like, I went and bought a 6-pack. Like, I love it. I turned my friend onto it. Never had it before. Like, you get that little, like, warm, fuzzy feeling. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, my child was
Right.
just, yeah. So that's always been my favorite part, is having somebody, applaud what you're selling. You can't sell anything you don't believe in.
Right.
Is the thing. And I've never sold anything that I didn't believe in, and worked for anybody I didn't believe in. And yeah, I mean, that's probably my favorite part.
So what was the first craft beer that kind of brought you down the rabbit hole?
My first craft beer, I remember very vividly. So I was in Austin, Texas, hanging out at a place called Buffalo Billiards. It's right downtown on 6th Street. At that point, I was only drinking Budweisers and High Lifes. Never had a craft beer ever. And looking through the menu, and one stood out to me. It sounded cool, and I was like, sure, I'll order that. So it was Golden Monkey by Victory Brewing Company. So ordered one of those. It came in this fancy glass. I didn't know what it was at the time. It's a tulip. Had the Golden Monkey logo on one side, had the Victory logo on the other side. I had 6 of those. In that one time I was there, in about the span of an hour and a half of just playing pool and hanging out and just drinking with friends. And I remember leaving and having to be carried up a hill to the hotel. And then woke up the next day just destroyed and had no idea what I drank. I remember the name. It was Golden Monkey, and went to go look it up. And that was my first experience with craft beer. And that's just what opened up the gate. And I was like, I need to know more about craft beer.
So let's switch gears then and kind of go back to your analogy with the music thing, and we'll go talk about music a little bit, and take it back to your early years. So what did you grow up listening to in your household?
It was a lot of 80s hair metal.
Okay.
So listened to a lot of Def Leppard, Poison, Kiss, but then I would hear a lot of country music also. So my mom was playing me a lot of like the 80s hits. So everything from Madonna to Pat Benatar. Then my dad was playing me everything from Poison to Iron Maiden to Def Leppard and Kiss. And then together they would play country in the car, and I was stuck listening to like Clint Black and George Strait and Travis Tritt and Garth Brooks and stuff like that, which that's all what I grew up on. I still listen to all that today.
Yep.
But I think I probably listen to the most of like hair metal and metal now. And as I got older, it progressed into other things. You know, I got into hip hop and rap and whatnot, and kind of exposed my palette essentially into all of those different sounds. And I introduced myself into that. All the stuff that my parents introduced to me stayed, but I had to introduce myself to all like grunge and metal and hip hop and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's interesting to me though that you say, so you grew up basically, you were born in the 80s.
Yep.
And raised in the 80s, late 80s would be when you're kind of being formed in your music taste and everything. But your parents were listening to music from the 80s.
Yep.
Right? So they were listening to what was modern at that time versus listening to stuff from the 60s and 70s when they were a little bit younger.
Yep. Yeah, like I never grew up, I mean, respect to these bands, like I never grew up on the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and like they grew up on all that, but they never introduced me to it. Like I introduced myself to it. Not a huge fan of a lot of that stuff. It just never worked for me. You know, don't get mad at me. It's not for me. It's probably for you, not for me. I never got into Fish. I went to go see Fish for the first time, 3 years ago. I honestly didn't know one song to the next. I thought it was like 4 hours of the same song.
It is.
But it was a fun time. I've never had an experience like that. It was cool. I would do it again. Would I pay for it? I don't know. I was probably the most sober one there. I only drank beer. Yeah. But, I mean, I saw everything else.
So what was the first musical experience you can remember? Whether it was like a show or buying a vinyl record or a CD or something like that, whatever. What was that first thing that scratched the itch and kind of got the ball rolling for you?
First concert. I was 6 years old. My dad took me to go see Kiss. It was the Hot in the Shade tour. It was supposed to be my mom and my dad going, but my mom was pregnant with my younger brother at that time, so she didn't go, so my dad took me. So it was me, my dad, and one of his friends. And it was Kiss, Winger, and Slaughter. And it was Slaughter's first ever tour. But yeah, I remember Freeman Coliseum, San Antonio, Texas, 1990. It was seats 10 and 11. Yes.
Do you have
Seats
the
10
ticket stubs?
I still have the ticket stub.
Okay.
I still have the ticket stub. So I am a huge Kiss fan.
Yeah.
I own, at one point, I probably owned close to $50,000 worth of Kiss merchandise. It's whittled down now. I've kind of gotten rid of some stuff, but it's still in my house. In my office, there's 2 big glass cases full of just Kiss merch.
That's crazy.
And so I will not stop collecting Kiss merch until I own a piece of their costume. So
Or their flesh.
Or their flesh, yeah. I mean, they're pretty much they're done now.
So I don't even know if I need to ask this next question then, but I'm going to anyway, just so you can confirm or deny.
Okay.
If you could join any band, dead or alive, for a summer-long tour, who would it be? You're not necessarily in the band. You just get to ride on the bus and, join them and maybe help out, carry some stuff.
Okay, so obviously the answer that you're probably assuming is going to be Kiss. I probably wouldn't do Kiss. So I would actually go with the Deftones. I'm an enormous fan of the Deftones. Chino Moreno, which is the lead singer of the Deftones, is probably my musical idol. When I was younger, I was in and out of bands. My first instrument I ever picked up was a bass. I was the only one really in my family that was really musically inclined, I guess. I wasn't even inclined. I just picked up a bass and had to learn how to play it. Was in bands in high school, got younger, going into my emo stages of wearing really tight jeans and super small shirts and having the combed emo bangs and wearing black nail polish. I also worked at Hot Topic, in case you were wondering. Yes, I did. Obviously. Got a discount. Why wouldn't I work there? And they also paid for all my concert tickets. So why would you not work there?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, how do you pull that off?
Well, their thing was all about the music.
Okay.
So if all you had to do was submit it into corporate, they would reimburse you for your concert ticket, and then you had to do a fashion report. So you basically had to be like, so this is what everyone's wearing right now. I saw a lot of people wearing our T-shirts that obviously we sell at Hot Topic, but a lot of people are starting to wear these kind of pants or wear these kind of shoes.
That's awesome.
And you would just send a quick little fashion report back to them.
Jim,
and then
this is what we're doing.
Boom.
Fretboard.
They'd reimburse you for all tickets.
We're going to do it for beer, though. So we're going to be like, people are drinking a lot of Miller Lite.
Yeah.
They should be drinking Fretboard. How do we get Fretboard here? Well, you need to send, me and everyone else that works here to concerts for free to do a little research, Jim.
Yeah.
Call it research.
People laugh, and they're like, of course you'd work at Hot Topic. And I'm like, yeah, but I got to go to like 30-plus shows in 1 year
That's
for
a killer
free.
perk.
For free.
Yeah.
And my one claim to fame, I've met a couple celebrities, but my claim to fame is meeting Chino Moreno. So a friend and I went to go see them play at Bogart's. This was years ago. I basically at midnight, I turned 21 at that point. Saw the Deftones play, waited outside in the cold. This is in October, late October, just kind of hanging out. We're sweaty, and out comes the Deftones. I got to meet them, say what's up to Chino. My friend Dave looks at him and goes,
"Hey, it's his birthday today."
And Chino looks at me and goes,
"Hold on 1 second."
So I was like, well, I don't know what he's going to do. Like, maybe he's going to give me a hoodie because I'm freezing my ass off. So he goes and, meets everybody, gets on the bus, and I was like, okay, he's not coming back. Well, he comes back with, a couple security guards, and he's bundled up in a hoodie and comes on over, and he was like,
"It's your 21st birthday?"
and I'm like, yeah. He's like,
"All right, where do you want to go?"
And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like,
"Let me buy you your first beer."
And I was like,
Okay.
cool.
That's
There's a place right around the corner. So behind Bogart's, it used to be the Holy Grail, and now it's Hangover Easy in Clifton. So we went over there, and he bought me a Budweiser, and I sat there with Chino Moreno and didn't know what to say. And I was like, so how's the tour? How's the tour bus? And where's your next stop? And hung out. It was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my claim to fame. He hung out for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Bought me my first beer at 21 and got on a bus and took
time.
off. And then I saw him a year later at another tour, and ran into him, and he was like,
"I remember you."
and I was like, yeah. He's like, you had a weird name. He was like,
Cupcake?
and I was like, nope. I was like, close. It's Cookie. He was like,
Yeah, I bought you a beer.
and I was like, you bought me my first beer.
If you could sit down at one particular craft brewery with one musician, dead or alive, what brewery are you going to, and who's the musician? Is it Chino?
Well, I mean, I guess I can go back with Chino again, but I mean, they brewed a beer with a Southern California brewery called Belching Beaver. So the Belching Beaver has done 4 or 5 beers that are Deftone beers.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so I mean, that would be the easy answer. I don't know. As far as a former musician, I mean, okay, I'll do this. If Dave Grohl actually drinks, I think he's only liquor. But if he did beer, I would totally sit down with Dave Grohl and pick his brain, and then do a beer with a brewery, or just have a beer with him at a brewery. And now the brewery I would probably pick, I could be biased and say Fretboard.
No, I want to know.
You want to know? I'm going to say Austin Beer Works.
Okay.
So Austin Beer Works, I think they make phenomenal beers also. Very just Texas only. But we could go there, have a few beers, and then obviously in Texas, in Austin specifically, tons of live music.
Yeah.
So it's not like we couldn't leave there and go catch some crazy shows.
Sure.
And I would love to go see a show with Dave Grohl.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be pretty tight.
All right, Cookie. So here's a weird question for you. You're captured by the enemy. They plan to torture you by playing.
Who's the enemy? Like what?
Can't say.
Like Anheuser-Busch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not another country. It's another competitor. Because we are direct competitors with Anheuser-Busch.
They're feeding me Bud Light.
Yeah,
and
Miller
they're
Coors
playing
also
this.
direct competition. Right. Yep, we're on that level, folks.
Woo.
So you're captured by the enemy, Anheuser-Busch.
Okay.
They plan to torture you by playing the same album on repeat 24 hours a day. But they are nice enough to let you choose the album.
Okay.
So which album do you choose, and how quickly do you think it'd take for you to go insane?
Okay, so they're dicks, but they're nice dicks.
Yeah, they're
okay,
nice dicks.
I got you.
Yeah.
So I think the last album I listened on repeat, it sounds weird, but so a band called Bring Me the Horizon. They put out an album a couple years ago called That's the Spirit. I bought it on Christmas Day like 3-4 years ago, and I listened to it on repeat every day when I was in the car from Christmas to the next Christmas.
Wow.
I never got sick of it. So I could probably do it again and be okay with it. I'd probably annoy them more than I would probably get annoyed and go insane, which, I mean, that's a very Rambo move.
Yeah. All right, this is the last question.
Okay.
All right. In an alternate universe, your name is Beer, and you're a cookie salesman. Would you be more or less successful than you currently are?
100% less successful. I mean, it would all go back to the whole question, like when people were like, "Oh, Cookie, you must like cookies," and I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I like cookies."
What's the cookie of choice?
White chocolate macadamia nut. Not even thinking.
Hell
just
yeah,
boom,
man.
fire.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's it. That's where it's at.
That's me too.
I mean, I like double stuffed Oreos too, but see, I don't like chocolate. I don't like chocolate.
way.
I have to have milk because I drown out the taste of chocolate.
Yep.
So once my milk is gone, then I can't have chocolate anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't even really know what chocolate really tastes like on its own.
Nothing. It's nothing.
Because I have to guzzle
Bud
milk
Light.
and just
Chocolate tastes like Bud Light.
gross.
There you go.
Well, good. Good.
Keep avoiding chocolate.
I will. I have done it now for 38 years. I'm going to continue doing it.
So you would be a far better beer salesman named Cookie than a cookie salesman named Beer.
100%. Yeah, I mean, they probably stick me with selling a bunch of stuff that like I don't believe in.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I could do Samoas. Like, I mean, picture me in like a Girl Scout outfit.
Yeah.
6'14", 260 pounds, Girl Scout outfit.
Yep.
Green brings out my eyes. It's good.
Yeah.
You know, just selling those cookies. But if it came to like, what are those lemon ones? I don't know what they are.
Yeah,
because I don't like them.
I love Samoas though.
You know, somebody likes them. I don't. They're gross.
Yeah, they're gross.
Samoas, they're tight, but I gotta have milk because there's too much chocolate on it. The peanut butter ones, same thing. Gotta have milk. There's too much chocolate on them. Too much chocolate.
Too much chocolate.
Can't do it.
2%, 1%, skim, almond. What are you?
You know what? 2%, 1% is where I'm at. 2% typically.
Yeah.
I like 2%.
Because I think David Robinson at one point, your boy David Robinson,
Yeah.
was like
Oh,
a
yeah.
spokesman.
The Admiral.
Wasn't he a
Admiral.
spokesman for Got Milk or something?
He was.
Yeah,
He
so-
was. Yep. Yeah, he had the white mustache.
Gross.
Yep, the Admiral. Ah, that
Gotta love it.
beautiful man.
Man, we bring
Yeah.
it all back here on Fretboard TV.
Yeah. San Antonio. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I made it. Watch me. 8 o'clock. Fretboard TV.
8
NBC.
o'clock. Yeah.
Wait, we're not on NBC, right?
No, MSNBC.
Oh, shit. MSNBC.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
So-
a lot of prisons in Texas, and MSNBC actually shows that prison show that I like to watch.
Oh,
Locked Up.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, that prison show. It's good. They've been stuck behind plastic for years. Ooh, too soon? Ah.
Well,
Whatever.
hey, Cookie, it's been a blast, man.
It's been awesome.
This is a
It's
great.
been fun.
This is a great conversation.
It's been fun. These lights are so hot. I run hot as it is. It's my Latino heat.
Well, we're gonna end it here. Thanks for
We're gonna end it
joining us, everyone. Hey, listen, if you see that guy right there, he's 6'14". Reminders. If you see him in Dayton, Oxford, Yellow Springs, he lives in Cincinnati, I think. Right?
I do.
Perfect.
I live in
If you
Cincinnati.
see him anywhere, say what's up to him. You can't miss him. Super friendly. Buy beer from him if you buy beer.
Yes.
You know, just don't try to offer him a Bud Light or chocolate.
No, don't do that. Beer right here.
Yep.
That's what I have tattooed on my knuckles. I'm never going to be in the beer industry.
No,
Yeah,
it's
it's the
true.
ingredients of beer.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll zoom
My
in
mom
on that.
mom hates these tattoos. She hates all my tattoos. But I'm not going to be in the beer or bank industry anytime soon. So
Yeah.
beer industry for life. I'm
Nice.
stuck. Here I am.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, thanks again, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody,
This is awesome.
give us a follow on our social media at Fretboard Brewing. Thank you, Jim, for running audio. Hit that like button. Subscribe to our YouTube page. It really helps. Goes a long way. At that point, we can get some sponsors for the show
Yeah.
and famous people, more famous people than
For
myself and Cookie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, everybody, have a good one. Cheers.
Yeah. Boom.
Bang.